Hey kids, do you like that rock and roll?
Don't worry, don't be afraid, ever. This is just a ride.
On the program this evening,
Four Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Four Brors Podcast. Today's guest is an up-and-coming comedian from Belfast, Mr. Sam McVea. Welcome.
What's happening, buddy?
All right. Thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for
We
coming.
were just talking about Anchorman and shit. You look like Anchorman a wee bit. You know?
You could be an Anchorman.
You could be like, you know.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be very good at reading the news.
No.
Here. You're dressed for it. What's the crack then? You're coming from Belfast.
Yeah.
What have you been at today?
Nothing much. I just sat in the house, loathing and waiting for this thing and really nervous about it.
Just dreading. just sitting waking up and dreading. I do the same thing all the time.
I do
Yeah.
it before I could do a gig. It was like 5 hours before. I'll get in the suit
Yeah.
and go over the whole thing. And my mum or dad comes in, they're like, "Why are you in the suit? You've got like 4 hours before like you're actually on stage.
Do this.
Just pacing.
I need to come on, please."
Sweat like all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I get what you mean though. Like, you know, it's like
You should have a sweating suit.
that's
and a
your job
gigging
now.
suit.
Like, you know, you're
Well, you want it to
deep in
be, like,
you
yeah.
want it to work, and
That too, but you ever just find
it is work, I suppose.
when you're waiting on something, you dread it. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
regardless of
Oh,
what it is, like, say I've got something to do at 8 o'clock at night and I've got nothing to do until then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll think about that way
worse,
too
it's worse
fucking
on it,
much.
yeah.
Really, all I need to do is get on with my day.
It depends.
Like
like-
the likes of like even fucking like a gig or something, a silly gig, like if
Yeah.
it was up in the pavilion or whatever. You know,
Oh, that's nerve wracking. Like, and
you know,
I
you'd be
spend
waiting
all day.
to do it, even though
do
you're probably
5
only
minutes.
Yeah.
you're probably only doing like fucking.
It's funny that because you worry for 8 hours for what's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be 5 minutes of your life. You know.
But then again, I think that's a good thing in a way as well.
It is.
Because if you are just nonchalant about everything, then you don't give a fuck, do you? So at least if you're worrying about it, it means you care. It
Yeah,
means you're
yeah.
prepared. It means you're, you know.
What's weird when you do 5 minutes, it's like it doesn't feel like 5 minutes. It
No.
feels like 2 hours.
It does.
Yeah, it
Weird.
does.
Like,
Yeah.
like you're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
When's this bit? That's not funny. I won't do that again. It's like that's the main thing I always go like, okay, I won't say that. That wasn't funny. You know.
You know, it's strange though. The opposite is true for like when we were doing weddings.
Depends.
We would do a 2-hour gig and it would feel like half an
Depends,
hour.
though, doesn't it? Though there's been a few that where you're like you're only half an hour in, and you're like, how
like
the
this.
fuck are we getting through this? Like,
Yeah.
you know. But then 2 seconds later, like, oh, it's over. You know.
Yeah.
And you always feel better for it after, like.
But this podcast is not something I've like felt that for.
No, but you know what it does to me? The podcast does this to me. So I'll come in and do a podcast and I'll have a great time,
Yeah.
and then see after
You go back to your
nothing.
shitty
Yeah,
life.
nothing like holds up to it.
Yeah.
I'll go and be like, what the fuck can I do now that will be as enjoyable as what I've just done?
Yeah.
You know. So it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it really is.
And you have to go back to work or
Especially
something.
if you are working that day, which we don't work Tuesdays anymore. Like, but
back to
Go
work.
back to work and fucking just.
yeah. So Sam, you've been doing this 6 months or 7 months now.
months,
or-
6 months, yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, it's class. Like you've come such a long way. Like, because
Yeah.
wanted you on the podcast because I seen you in the pavilion when I was doing a wee stint there. That's when I failed.
It's good. I
As we
think it was
stint.
good.
Yeah, and
It was better than my first ever set. I went Dave's Head. I went into the toilet and I vomited in the urinal.
yeah.
Into your urinal.
Yeah.
What
'cause I
made
was
you make that
standing over
choice?
it and I just was like
Projectile.
it was just straight out. I was like, shh. And I was back there recently. And I made a joke about like a blue plaque. I put a blue plaque, and then some guy came up to me at the end and went, "What the fuck's a blue plaque?" And I'm like, "How do you know what a blue plaque is?"
In the urinal.
yeah,
Yeah.
like up the urinal. I was like, "What's a blue plaque?"
Fuck.
You didn't know what a
is
blue plaque
niche.
was.
It is niche. Like,
But
I'm gonna
can
be
we go
honest,
back to the vomit in the
didn't know what
urinal?
that was.
You know, like when there's like somebody famous to
But
put
then
like
again,
the, like,
I'm actually
live
a bit
here
of
or
a
whatever.
fucking idiot. Actually,
Ah, you see?
Yeah,
Actually took me a wee second to
I'm
get
you
it to you there.
were thinking urinal cake, weren't you?
Yeah.
So was I.
Yeah, I was thinking urinal cake. Apparently,
I
I'm too
wasn't-
stupid. Do what my coach tells me. But can we go back to the urinal just a wee second?
You need,
Right.
you need to write jokes for stupid people.
Or not.
You need to realize that
Or not?
not everybody's as smart as you.
I don't know. I just thought it was like nobody laughed, and then some guy came up to me and was like, "It's a blue plaque. What's a blue plaque?" I'm like, "It's the thing that you see on the side of like houses near Queens,
Yeah.
where it says certain famous person lived here."
Is
Never heard of it?
that stuff to put on your teeth for whitening? You know, the blue state, blue black. Press button.
Fucking flag out there. Jesus Christ.
Up a hoodie.
But anyway, can we please just one wee second? We'll go back to the urinal
Right,
just for a
okay.
wee second. Did you know you were going to be sick before you approached the urinal?
No.
No, so you're
just
pissing
being,
first?
Like, so I was pissing first.
Ah,
I was
class.
just
Okay,
standing there, right?
You cleared it all up. Thanks.
But I remember just being like super nervous, and I was like, I felt it coming.
Yeah.
It's not vomit, is it? And it just came out.
Aye.
The thing was, it was like on like right after it, so I had to like go up, like wipe my mouth. Luckily, I didn't get in the suit. I was like, wipe it off. And like, I swear to God, I feel sorry for the next person who went on the microphone because like it must have just smelled of bread.
Just fucking bile.
Get a sick.
Oh, there's
good.
nothing. Well,
Yeah.
I hate being
Nervous sick's a different one though, isn't it? 'Cause it does just. He's going pop.
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
What was
You know,
what was weird about it? I've never had it since. Like it was just
Yeah.
that first thing.
It's funny that everybody gets anxiety in different ways. Like I would never vomit
I wouldn't vomit.
and I would never faint.
Oh, but that was what was strange about me. Like I wasn't
you have
expecting
fainted,
it.
so what are you talking
Aye.
about?
Oh yeah.
When you were younger, like
Yep.
Well,
when you were a
There
child,
was multiple times.
What?
you fainted once.
when?
I definitely remember. I think it was like in church or in some.
But it wouldn't have been anxiety. Like
In church?
probably
No,
would have been.
not anxiety.
I probably was just sick or something. No, but for anxiety, like I'm
anxiety.
I'm at like 11. There's no chance of me losing consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm like fully awake. I'm just, "Ah!" You know? There's no chance I'll faint.
Kill me.
Yeah, but everybody
Bang your
does
head.
that.
But no, I
Fucking wall
never
just-
fainted or anything. But like for me, that was a big surprise. It was the first time I've ever like did
Yeah.
properly. Just
Just took it. Just,
Yeah.
That's funny. That like.
Oh, I just
Anxieties.
recently had vomit and diarrhea.
Lovely.
Oh, it was the worst experience of being sick. It was about a week and a half ago. Like
Yeah.
it was terrible.
He's alright.
Jesus
He's alright.
Christ. I was throwing up from like 9 o'clock to 6:30 in the morning. Like
yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
Terrible.
Does vomit go down the urinal or does it stay in it?
I don't know. I can't
stays
really
in it,
remember.
I'm so fucking
on to
curious.
something.
I'm
Depends
you
on
so
probably have
curious.
to like fucking
Mush it in.
vomit
You'd have
shit.
to mush it in to get it away. See, I would have panicked more so about people finding the sick in the
Depending on
urinal.
what kind of vomit it is, if it's lumpy vomit or if it's nice.
It wasn't like
nice and-
lumpy. It wasn't like full on vomit. It was just like a bit and just went down into the urinal. It wasn't like as if it was like pounds of
Could
it.
you imagine?
Yeah,
Right.
so it was just a wee.
Your dick's in the urinal. You'd be sick, and then you just smush it down.
Oh,
Your dick.
no.
Just smush it down the drain.
Why with your dick?
Why was that?
Why with
dick's
your
close.
dick?
Just-
That's like
You're just too lazy to go down and smoosh them in your hands.
It was
You're
like
gonna get all kinds
just out of like just fright.
Out of fright. Out of fright. I think what I would do is take my sock off and put it on my hand and mush it all in that way and then throw the sock away.
Fuck that.
aye.
No, that's
nah.
worse.
I'm going to pick something.
We're very sorry.
Do
Sam.
your
So I
hands.
didn't
How
know.
about-
I could always use my tie. Just take off the tie.
There you are.
Just
All right, yeah,
wrap
that's,
it around.
that's,
they
that's
are.
a good. That's a
Slap
good.
it.
Got to do. I don't think I had a tie that first night I did my
Slap
first
it.
ever set. So maybe I did use it.
Ah.
I didn't.
away. So
You've got a joke, right? Which is what took me by surprise and was like, I laughed out loud. It was you said you have autism, or as my dad calls it, oh holy fuck.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh Jesus fucking Christ. I
That is funny.
great. Like
It's my dad came up with that joke and like he hasn't let me forget it.
he came out, that's mad,
Yeah.
that's class.
It's like you gotta tell that joke tonight. Like yeah, yeah.
It's a great joke, I have to
That's a
say.
good. That's good. Fucking.
What's it like? What do you find it different, like being autistic in this scene? Like
No, not really. Because let's be honest here, every single comedian
Yeah.
is
Why
autistic.
would you?
Like,
Yeah.
every comedian's
fucking
got
right,
something. Like,
every
don't
single
they?
comedian's got something wrong with them. Like.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
definitely.
Like,
or something right with them,
or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Martin grew up with autism, and I think I'm something like, because I went through this thing, like I just self-diagnosed myself. I was diagnosed with panic disorder, but then I self-diagnosed myself with pure O, which is like a OCD that's internal in your brain, you know, and you just
Yeah.
fucking just,
pure.
you know, so I'm on the spectrum somewhere, man. Yeah. But yeah, Martin.
Well, we all have to be on the spectrum if it's
So
the
what is
spectrum.
pure? What's pure? Like what?
pure O is pure.
Sounds like
Ruminate-
really
is this
strong
ruminating?
polos, like a
Yeah.
real strong mint. That's what it sounds like. Puro.
It's in some ways it is.
Puro.
It's fucking
Fresh.
fresh in something, not your mouth, like your breath, fresh in your whole life.
Fresh in your life.
Yeah, Puro's like a fucking internal form of OCD. So most people with OCD.
What is it, like your brain's not quite in the right section, so you gotta open your head and take. That was a shit joke. Forget that. Just going nowhere.
There's no shit
Just
jokes.
go on. It was fine.
There's
fine.
only shit jokes in this podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're with your people.
Yeah, this is the way to do it.
But yeah, it's like, so OCD, people with OCD, like what you would think is normal, well, not normal, but like with people with actual OCD, that's popular.
Is this how OCD people explain things?
So it's not proper OCD, but it's OCD.
Yeah. So OCD, people with OCD, like you like flick on lights and off lights and all this shit, and have rituals and all this. But pure O,
That's not proper OCD.
someone with pure O, you wouldn't know they even had OCD at all. You wouldn't think.
What? So it's not OCD at all?
Oh,
No, you just wouldn't.
It's pure
'cause
O.
They
It's
just
just the
go
O.
through. They just go through life like a normal person.
there's
You
no
know?
CD. It's just
So
O.
what's the point of having it then?
What's the point of having it?
Fuck. There's no point. It's terrible. There's no point in having it. I wish it didn't exist.
Why do you have it? You spastic.
That's fucking wise up, will you?
So
Like, if it does nothing for you, get the fuck.
it
rid of
does nothing for me. I wish it wasn't real.
Anyway, so what's what? Okay,
Right,
so,
so-
we got to like.
So
So, we know
Gareth has
OCD's like going and you have to shut the door 3 times.
So
You
it's
have to turn the
not
light
normal.
off 3 times.
Rituals,
It's not
it's
that,
just
right?
these obsessive, compulsive
Right.
things that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is physical, and people can go, "What the fuck's he doing?" You know. But someone with pure O, they
But that's not
they
even.
internally do that
Yes.
with thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like my whole thing was breathing, you know, and it got so bad to where I would think about talking. Like I remember when I was working
Somewhere.
somewhere, right, with you that time. That was when I was going through this real bad period of this, and I was thinking like I have to breathe to talk. So if I don't talk, I don't have to think about breathing. And this thought would just fucking ruminate, so I couldn't talk to people really. You know, it was so. It's funny, like it sounds insane to me now as well, but like back then that was like my whole thought process. I couldn't get out of it, you know. And it just fucking ruined my life for a while. Like.
So OCD, what people really represent it as, isn't really a disorder. It's more of just
Well, it depends.
people just really. All right, well, I need
No,
to
it
leave.
can be.
It
I need to
depends
leave
on what
this
it
over
does,
here, that
yeah.
there,
No, no,
Well, it
no.
depends. It depends.
It's not really.
That's not OCD then.
No.
Because OCD is life ruining stuff
Yeah.
where you will have to.
Yeah.
So the difference is I fucking sometimes will get up and be like, oh, my phone, I shouldn't have set my phone like that. I'm going to move it like that and get up. That's not really OCD. That's just me being a fucking bit
Unless
of a
it
dick
affects
or
your life.
whatever.
That's
Do you know
being
what I mean?
obsessively compulsive. It's not.
Yeah, but
a
it's
disorder.
not. It's not a disorder because I'm not then
do it
gonna.
every
time, maybe. Like,
I'm not going to be driving down the street and be like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I'm going to turn back here and drive half an hour to refix whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something I'll do every now and then. But
Yep.
like someone that has it wouldn't be able to go to sleep without knowing that they've went down and done that,
Yeah.
done this and done that.
So, like, in what ways does your autism manifest in you? Like,
I don't know. I would do that, like fix things, but I'm not like so badly OCD. But the story about how I got diagnosed with autism is a good story. So my dad was potty training me, and I wouldn't go to the toilet. I was like the age of 6 at this point.
Right.
My dad, there's something wrong with this child. We've got to get him to the hospital.
Right.
He's in the hospital.
he just doesn't take shit. He doesn't. Poop.
He doesn't take shit. He's like,
His ass is the size of like fucking. He just.
yeah, and he brings me to the hospital, and they're like, he's got autism and ADHD. I was like,
ADHD as well.
Martin and David put
All right,
together.
there you go. You're a
Great.
fusion of me and
Fusion
Martin.
ha!
There's Sam.
yeah. Well, no, I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD when I was 6. I got diagnosed with autism, and then I got diagnosed with ADHD 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think I always sort of had it for definite. But it was one of those things where I think I went in for like a study, and like it was one of those really stupid things where they get you on a cross trainer and they make you run for like an hour, and they go, right, yeah, that's good, and then
Like in 50 Cent video.
yeah,
So tell me this: what do you see ADHD as being? Like what is it?
it's something in my brain that makes me do stupid things, I guess.
Is that it?
That's David. Oh my
yeah.
god, that's David. Holy shit.
Fuck, we're getting a wee diagnosis here today.
David's had ADHD. Well,
Yeah.
diagnosed when he was a kid. Like,
So what is ADHD? Is really like people saying that your child is.
it depends. Like, because
Is it-
Well,
There's a
there's
deficit
different
disorder,
types.
isn't there?
There's,
Different
there's
types.
ADHD, which is I think attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
And then there's ADD.
Yeah.
ADD, which
I don't
Which
have
is-
ADD. ADD is
little bit,
different.
yeah.
Which is
like,
what?
It's not like it's like attention deficit disorder is like, you know, you're hyper and like,
Yeah, and your
you know,
attention span, you can't
Yeah,
sit in one
yeah.
space.
hyperactive,
And,
yeah, like really hyperactive.
But like I think
and maybe seeking attention.
not
in the wrong
not particularly.
ways.
I don't think like in an ADD is more like just struggling to concentrate on one specific
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
While ADHD is more all over the place.
hyperactive.
Well, do you find yourself doing this? So, like, if you do one thing and before it's finished, you'll be doing another thing.
Oh, I
and then
do.
before
I do
that's
it with the
finished, I
microphone
do that.
all the
Like,
time.
But that's everybody
All
with
the
this
time.
phone sort of fucking. They're like, I would find myself like googling something, and then I'm I forget what I'm googling. I'm on like fucking how peas were invented.
But even
and
like,
I was like
but
looking
if
up
like say if you
fucking
go to start
a
like
sun.
rolling a joint, we finish doing it. So like I'll roll a joint, I'll not finish it, it'll be half done, and I'll get up, stick the kettle on, start making a cup of tea, and then I'll not make the cup of tea. I'll go over and start washing a dish that needed washed, and then I'll be like, oh fuck, the joint needs rolling. I go back and do that. You know.
I think that's just being a retard.
And then you get your dick caught in the ceiling fan.
You not say that anymore.
That ain't nothing. That's just being a
You're allowed
fucking
to say that.
idiot.
It's just
But do you know what I mean? I do that all the time.
No, I do.
Instead of
like,
just finishing a fucking task. You know
what
what I mean?
actually wrecks my head constantly is that I do that on a like
David's
a
really
bigger
bad for that,
scale.
yeah.
On a bigger scale of like
All the time. Look,
I haven't done this, I haven't done that. I've left the fucking this.
I've left the baby in the oven again.
Left the
for fuck's
baby.
sake.
You know, like I've started this painting, haven't finished it. I've fucking painted that room half done. I've fucking started doing something else, and if other things aren't getting done, it all fucking piles on top of you, and you're like, right, like nothing's done. I'm half a fucking
Have a brain.
paint.
Half a fucking brain, me.
Half a fucking brain.
The same thing happens to me when I'm trying to write a joke.
Yeah.
I like spend ages going, right, when I write a joke about this, is this funny? Yes, it's funny. And then I go, no, wait, actually, that's funny. I'll write a joke about this.
Yeah.
And then I end up like going to walk the dog and then forgetting about it. Or the worst thing is when you I have a note beside my a lot of comedians do this where they have like a little notepad beside your bed, and I'll open it and it just says wank. I've had that before, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Do you just take it as like a?
What does this mean?
Did I do this last night?
You're
Actually
fucking
get the
sleepy
dick out and
past
have a
self
quick
has been
wank.
like,
Is
I'm
it-
around this motherfucker.
Wank. You just
right.
you just take it as a suggestion. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Wank.
That's the thing. What
I
I'm supposed to
swear to
do.
God, I opened it once. I just said wank, and I was like, "What does this mean?"
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Having a wank epiphany. Just
Or something I'll do
Wank-
sometimes.
wank
I'll write like just a word.
Yeah.
Like one time I opened my book and it just said table. And I was like, what was I think? What was going through my head? I thought,
I hate
funny
that.
about a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do stupid shit like that all the time, even just for the podcast. I will always write down things and I'm like, okay, I need to remember to speak about this or go into that.
Yeah.
And I'll write something that I'm like, of course I'll know what that means. And then I go
swear
on the podcast to look at it and go,
That's happened to me a million times. Like, for like
leg
for
upside down to it? What the fuck?
For sketch ideas as well. I've written a few things and I'm just like, oh,
What the
nope,
fuck?
don't remember what that is.
Especially also, I bring my book up with me and there's just like a line of like stuff that I've written down and shit. And then I completely forget like what I've written. And like I look at it and I'm going, right, so I have a set about Steven Seagal and stuff, right? So like it just
Right, go ahead, sorry.
it just says at the moment it just says Steven Seagal, don't forget energy drink, don't forget punchline. Because before I did that joke and then forgot the punchline. They still laugh like it wasn't if it was like I forgot, but I forgot the punchline and people were like, what, wait, you didn't tell the punchline of that joke? So I have to now write do punchlines so you don't forget.
Do the punchline.
Do the punchline.
I meant to ask you about that. Is the Steven Seagal thing a bit, or do you really like him?
Well, it's kind of a bit of both to be
Yeah.
fair.
Well, let's
Like,
get into Steven
get into
Seagal
Steven.
because I have an opinion on him.
I really actually do like him.
Yeah.
And I think like,
We
but
about
I
to
only
break
like
that
him
down
because
today.
he's funny for jokes.
Yeah.
That's the,
Oh, I'll say.
So do you like him in the way that I like Donald Trump?
no.
No.
So you like him?
No.
Donald Trump, like for
As an act-
entertainment
as an actor?
purposes.
Do you like his movies? Do you
No,
like him as an
in my
actor?
opinion, Steven Seagal. You don't watch a Steven
comic
Seagal
relief.
movie to have fun.
Yeah.
You watch a Steven Seagal movie to laugh.
Yeah,
there you go.
How
Yeah,
god
so
awful.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
really-
pretty
there's a
much how we like Donald
about
Trump.
right.
He's
And he's
funny.
a police officer. He's been.
Yeah,
I've been flying helicopters for 25 years.
there's a really bad one like that. And there's one called this is the movie he did called Out for Justice, and he did this like really shit racist Italian accent. And there's a scene in it where like some guy drops his gun. He says, "You wouldn't kill an unarmed man." And he just goes, "No, I wouldn't, but I kick him out a window," and just proceeds to kick him out a window. And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Class. Have you heard his music?
Oh, Strut. That's the best
that
song of all
punani.
time. Put your punani. And then you're like, Stephen, mate, you're a convicted pervert. You cannot
We
be
want the
saying stuff like that.
punani.
Me want the punani. Like,
want the punani.
class.
And then I saw this video about how he plays the guitar
Yeah.
is really weird.
Right.
Yeah.
When you first watch it, you think, oh, he's playing like a bass. No, he has his arm like this on the fretboard, like, and you're like, What are you doing? Like, why are you playing like that? Play it like that, Stephen, or like that.
Yeah.
He full on just does this.
I have to say, like,
That's the way of the dragon.
He isn't
That's how
the
you play
worst.
guitar, the way of the
Yeah,
dragon.
he's not the worst guitar player, but he's just.
Have you seen his like god awful dancing he does? He just there's one thing we should do in this.
He's the
Like
master.
a video, like what's coming?
He's the master of accidental
Imagine
comedy.
he was
isn't
joking
He's-
the whole time though. It was a character.
That'd be
He's
brilliant.
not really like that. But here, do you ever ask, like, he thinks that he taught like Anderson Silva that front kick that knocked out fucking thing and all.
I
He
taught
was
him
like,
that, yeah,
I
I
taught
taught him
him that kick. I
There's
showed him that
never
kick in
one-
the training room before the fight.
He was
You know?
like he was interviewed by like Pierce Morgan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like Pierce Morgan's like, "Are you dangerous?" He just goes,
It's like,
I'm dangerous when there's a bag of chips around.
have you seen the size of my
and then there's never good one. Like I think it's like Australia, and he just goes, "So, what do you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger?" And he's like, "I could beat him in a fight." And you're like, "What about Bruce Lee?" Bruce Lee's not proper. And you're like, "What do you mean Bruce Lee's not proper?"
There's times he said that he beat Bruce Lee in a spar match.
That's such bullshit.
You know?
He wasn't even around when Bruce Lee was like,
You're like, what are
dead.
you talking about? Like, Stephen, Jesus
He was
Christ.
like-
And there's another thing about you know like Brandon Lee, the way unfortunately he got shot in The Crow.
Yeah.
There's a story that he tells where apparently rather than calling up the police, they called him and they just said, "So Stephen, mate, here, he's got a bullet in him, but we didn't shoot a gun. Trust me, he'll have a bullet in him." Right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
have a
Yeah, he's
bullet in
like,
him.
I told
And you're
them exactly
Why are they
where to find
calling
that
you?
bullet.
Call the ambulance.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, they
and then,
Steven
and,
Seagal straight
he
away.
goes in the morning. They call me up again, and he goes, "You were right, Stephen. There was a bullet in him."
I told
You're
you.
like, "I told you, man.
I told you
last night."
I told you there was a bullet.
Imagine,
cringy,
imagine that
isn't it?
set.
Like-
Imagine
Oh
Brandon
my
Lee's just
God.
shot, and they're all around him.
Like,
and they're
someone ring Steven Seagal.
someone get Steven Seagal on the phone. Steven,
David, help!
There's only one man who could save him.
we need Seagal. Like 999. Do you want ambulance, fire station, or
It's
Steve
too
Seagal?
expensive. We didn't fucking Steven Seagal's for free. We'll freak him.
911. Imagine it's just Steven Seagal on every line. It's like he's the ambulance, he's the fire
It's
station.
amazing. And have you ever seen him when he's doing his police documentary thing? And he
Oh,
goes
that
into
is
black neighborhoods and he starts
god-awful.
putting on like black accents and he goes into Mexico, he starts being a
He's
Mexican.
every nationality. Sure, he's
It's
Indian.
class.
He's Indian. He's Russian. He's Japanese.
1/4 Cherokee Indian Russian.
The best line in that Lawman TV show, there's like an episode where like I watched the whole series because
Yeah.
like
class.
but
It's entertainment,
there's an
like.
episode where he goes to this house and he goes, "You shouldn't beat up your wife, man. It's wrong." And you're like, "Okay, right." And then he goes to the next guy, "You shouldn't beat up your wife, right? It's wrong." And then some guy just comes out and goes, "Yeah, but Stephen, you beat up your wife." You're like, "Oh, sorry." And he just goes, "Sorry." And then like,
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
that bitch deserved it.
Don't let him make a mistake.
And then there's another episode where they're trying to find like this dog that's gone missing. Now, any normal police officer would just do it like Hot Fuzz style and just jump all over the fences trying to find it.
Yeah.
But nah, Steven Seagal hires a tank and just starts driving it through all these gardens.
This is what I mean. How is he not joking?
He's a fucking lunatic.
brilliant.
It's so good. Like,
Brilliant.
it's so good.
He believes his own bullshit so much. Like,
He's
doesn't he?
very
He
eccentric.
can drive helicopters. He's the best sniper as well ever. He teaches the American army how to snipe properly. He tells everyone that too. Like,
No, there's a really god awful sniper movie he's in where I think he. Like Steven Seagal, to be fair, is getting quite old at this point. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like 70, 78,
he's not
79.
old.
yeah, he's old.
He's
now.
not he's old.
He's
but
old. Like.
there's a scene where in like I think it's like one of those really shit like Sniper Up like 2 or whatever, right? And he spends half an hour of the movie, no joke, just sitting in a chair fighting people, and you're like, he just keeps like he just keeps coming, he just keeps punching them. And
I've seen that, yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
starts sniping, and then like he doesn't miss a shot.
Badly.
He just sits
He's the
like the
best.
whole
He's a
movie.
legend.
Just boom, boom. Just fucking
And
eating.
then there's like a really weird bit where like he grabs some guy with his legs and just snaps his neck with his legs. You're like, what? How did you do that?
He barely even tries. Sometimes like it's just like
It just flails about the place.
That is
But
his
even
style.
when he does
That
his
is
like
definitely his style
demonstrations
right
and all,
there.
it's the same. You know, like people come run at him and he's just like, and they just go flying.
Have you seen his like Aikido
Yeah.
stuff? It's just
Yeah.
it's literally just
It's all
hand
bullshit,
on
like-
body, fling round,
It's all
dead.
bullshit.
And you're like,
It's all bullshit.
right.
You need the person to cooperate. The person that's coming at you has to cooperate. If anybody just ran up to him and just stood their ground,
yeah.
Yeah.
work. Don't work.
Whatever he's doing, they're just still
So
stood there.
if there's a criminal coming at you, just let them know. Look, Aikido. Is that all right?
Even though Steven Seagal would murder all of us. Let's be honest. Still,
Fuck no.
Nah, I'd
I
scrap
don't
Steven
think
Seagal
so.
outside Tesco's
do you reckon?
any day.
I don't
That would be
know.
I'd love
to see
I
that.
actually don't think he.
You just run around until he's tired.
The man can't even run, you know, exactly. You know?
can't.
So if he can't even run,
Round the pastry, you know, he stopped for a wee apple fucking turnover.
There's what that movie I was talking about earlier is Out for Justice. There's a really bad scene at the start where like they're waiting till they get this like drug dealer or like I think it's actually a pimp or like something, and this pimp's like getting the thing, and Steven Seagal runs over, but like he has his gun in his hand, he's just like this. You're like, what are you doing?
He runs like a girl too. Like, you see him running like
Fuck, where's
his
he
hands behind.
sick. So funny.
Nah, I don't think Steven Seagal was ever formidable in any sense. Like, I don't think so.
Ever?
He was
Even
just
when he was
tall.
a young man.
Nah,
no.
he was just tall and imposing and had like an ego.
Yeah.
But he was always afraid of fighting.
But he
Van
knows
Damme and all.
Aikido.
Van Damme's like my
He
height,
knows
you know?
Aikido.
Oh, right enough. Yeah.
Gosh.
He trains. He fought Bruce Lee. So
Aikido.
yeah.
Don't
Red
ever.
Jar. Red Jar.
Ever.
Sorry, Stephen.
You know, he'll find you.
Fucking.
Sorry, Steve.
Actually, well, to be fair,
Everyone say sorry to
I did
Steven
try to
Seagal.
find Steven Seagal. I emailed him like 6 times once over like a week to actually see if I could get a reply from him. And I got an email back saying, please stop. You're not messaging Steven Seagal's you're not messaging Steven Seagal's person. You're messaging Steven Seagal's company for Aikido.
Please
Unless
stop.
you want to sign up for Aikido, fuck off. And I'm like,
we teach Aikido here, sir.
do you do any Aikido in Belfast? And they go, I don't know. Didn't get anything back.
Fucking sick. Steven Seagal. Now that would be a man to meet. Like, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine having him on this podcast.
like,
Jesus.
Have you ever seen him where he met Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
but
He's fucking card.
He's
never-
in cards now.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Never on a card. Look.
But Vladimir Putin's like, you could tell, like, I don't speak Russian, but like there's a bit where he just leans over the bodyguard and you can tell he's just saying, so who the fuck's this?
This guy is asshole.
This guy. I don't know
What
why.
accent
He's
that
got
was.
marker line around here. Just fucking. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like Steven Seagal, eh? Steven Seagal.
Always more of a Van Damme man.
Aye,
myself.
Van Damme, man.
Van Damme, man.
Van Damme, man.
Damn.
There's another guy, Steven Seagal said apparently he sparred out in a fight or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, what, sorry?
Oh,
Apparently
Van Damme, yeah.
sparred him out,
Yeah.
beat him up.
Oh, he said it about everybody, and then some people have asked him like years later the same question. He's like, "Oh no, I never said that."
Van
Like-
Damme's like a popular one though, and the always wanted to see him.
Well,
fight,
here's a
like.
video of you saying that.
And like Van Damme's not even the most, let's be honest, skilled
No,
fighter.
well,
You know,
no.
he
But at
can't.
least
He's
he
a good.
did.
He's alright kickboxer. Like,
Yeah, he done proper
He could
fighting
do
though. Like,
proper
Yeah,
kicks
yeah.
and all that.
He
there,
done
you
proper
know.
fighting, unlike Steven Seagal where he just
Yeah.
touches the guy and he
Yeah,
just
just
falls
like-
dead.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Actually, one of the best fucking fighting movies I ever watched was that when it came out on back. Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
He's
some of
good,
his
like-
Very brutal.
ones were really
I love
good.
watching him.
Brutal. Brutal.
They're class. Like, yeah. What was I gonna say there?
Fuck here, boys. Oasis.
Oasis. What about them?
Fuck him.
Being
Terrible.
arsehole.
Terrible. Did you see their gig?
No.
Did they do a gig?
Did they do a gig?
They've done a gig.
Was it not
already.
just Liam? You sure?
No, it was Liam and Sure Things playing the guitar.
Was he there?
Yeah, it's at the Riyadh season. They done it at Wembley or something. They done like a
Prices were
wee
Oh
gig.
yeah, I heard of it. And then
Yeah.
all these people were like, "Here, we want a fucking rave.
Bro,
This is shit."
it's
Like,
so bad.
I thought it was just Liam, right?
bad quality.
Yeah.
It was just no. You can see Noel just
Right. Okay.
just got glasses on. He's just like
Not getting paid for this shit.
you know, and they sound horrific.
Yeah.
They're really bad. Like I would have been like.
You'd rather a cover band?
Yeah, and actually, an Oasis cover band might have been better than that. It was really bad. Like,
As much as I love Oasis, like they're pricks. They're big pricks. Like
Liam's a big prick, definitely.
so was Noel though. In his
Yeah.
own way.
They
Different
are
kind of prick.
They're big egos, like you know.
Yeah.
They're the Steven Seagals of music.
yeah. But the thing about them, I know, I really don't believe that like they split up because they hate each other.
Nah.
They split up because they knew they could do this.
Yeah, that's
like
what I
they
think.
did not split up because they hate each other.
All for money. Look.
It's all
Definitely.
for money. They
I
split
would
up
say so. Like
Could be, yeah.
because they knew that
Could
they
be.
could come back and sell those tickets.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly because like both of them by themselves made the same money they would have made just being an Oasis together.
yeah.
I would say they had a lot of real drama in the past, like, you know, like.
but
fucking-
no more than like me and you would have had, like you know.
But I don't even
just-
think they've seen each other's kids, have they, or something? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Keeping up appearances maybe for the
Well,
press. I don't know.
there's also when I was talking to one of my mates who's very into music, and he said the Sex Pistols,
Mm-hmm.
they're a band that were the worst. They genuinely actually hate each other. Like
Yeah.
they don't
And made
talk
no money.
even to this day. They haven't
No
made any
money.
money because they don't do a reunion. Even though
Yeah.
half the band, I think one of the band members is dead now, but like
Sid Vicious, he's dead.
yeah,
no, fuck's
but they
sake.
don't.
We
They,
should.
they'll never do it
He was
because they
cool guy, though.
genuinely hate each other. They
Yeah.
all hate each other. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's funny that.
It happens.
I don't think I could do
I never
something
really
like
get
that.
into the Sex Pistols myself.
Never a big fan of
I
them,
think
to be
there's
honest.
more, but I think there is a couple of songs that
But they were more like a
Forward
culture change than like music to be good and listen to. You know, that was like an event that was happening to change people's
punk.
way of looking at life than just, oh, it's a
Good
good
music.
song. You know, yeah, it's like you're not sitting down to listen to Sex Pistols. You know?
Yeah,
It was like that thing, wasn't it? Punk, like.
it's a brash sort of just statement. Their music. I don't think they even
It
went.
was fuck
oh,
music,
that sounds nice.
wasn't it? Really, you know.
Oh, that
That's what
sounds
it's
nice,
supposed
John.
to be,
What about
isn't it?
you, Sid?
Like
You know?
fuck music, you know.
Yeah.
What sounds horrible? Let's do that.
Yeah, you were wearing a Beatles pin.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, he said he found it on the
Sgt.
floor.
Pepper's.
Where'd you find it?
On the floor of Man's one night.
No, that was one night.
That's classic.
Cool.
Do you do
Exactly where a Beatles pin should be, eh?
you play an instrument.
I play the drums.
You play the drums. Cool.
Yeah.
We need a
Martin?
drummer. Martin, remember you were supposed
Martin,
to?
you,
I'd say shit.
We got Martin a drum kit like 3 years ago now because he was supposed to be the drummer in our wedding
Oh,
band.
like I
and
never got around to it. Like.
sitting in his room.
I want my money
never
back.
got around to it. Never got around to
Never
it. Like,
got around to
literally
it.
sitting on front of him when he
You
wakes
can
up.
literally just get out of
Couldn't
bed.
reach it, and like Steven Seagal have to fucking sit on a chair and. You know.
I keto it.
A key to the drums, like.
That'd be impressive.
How long have you been playing the drums then?
Well, I joined the school band about like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, funny enough, we have a drum kit, right? I'm joking. Do we?
We've got one over the house.
Yeah, are you in a like a?
Well, it's just like a school band. It's like a band like the school.
What kind of music
But
do you play?
We're just like anything that we're told to. It's like here, there's like a performance coming up. Can you play like Hey Jude?
Can you
You're
play
like,
Mary's Little
that's one of the
Lamb?
most hardest songs like ever. Drum parts. Like, yeah, you can play it, Sam. I play it, and they're like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I told you I couldn't
Not my
play it.
tempo.
Not quite.
Not my
Hey,
tempo. Oh,
Jude.
here, have you watched that?
Don't
Fucking
be-
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
I hate it.
You didn't like it?
Yeah.
It's
I
just
really
I,
liked
like
it,
watching it as somebody who plays a drummer. There's like obviously I've never really played like hardcore jazz, like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
playing,
yeah.
but there is no way
Juilliard.
that he can tell like in like 2 seconds that that's not his
Yeah.
tempo. There's
I think he's just
you
fucking
hate
him
that,
about
you
the whole
hate the
time.
That's,
character.
I think
No,
that's
it's not
the
like I
point,
hate
that
the
it's not,
character.
there
it's
is
not
no his
accurate
tempo.
because like
Yeah.
you could not tell the tempo that quickly.
Yeah,
Like-
I got that too. I think it's just.
But what I got,
being a
yeah,
cunt,
like what I got from him was that it's not the fact that it's not his tempo. It's not his, it doesn't matter what tempo it is. You do what he says, and if he says it's not right, no argument, change it. You know,
Yeah.
The best line in Whiplash though was the bit where he just leans down and just goes, "I will fuck you like a pig," and you're like, "What?"
fucking like David Cameron
that guy broke a rib, didn't he? The actor
playing
the drums.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Playing the
It's
drums.
insane, look.
Fuck, played,
Jesus Christ.
played them that much.
Yeah.
He broke his rib.
Insane.
Dedication right there. Look,
Hmm?
that's dedication right there.
That's dedication.
What about your-
J.K. Simmons, like
Yeah, he's class. Like,
Yeah, J.K. Simmons, man.
what would be your favorite band
Oh,
if you have one?
probably the Beatles.
Yeah.
they're great. Look, we're
They're right
choice.
up there for us. Like,
Yeah, the Beatles
We
are
went
good.
through a phase of all that. Like Beatles would have been
that's how we taught ourselves to play
Or maybe,
music.
maybe the
yeah,
Who.
the Who
the
class.
Who are fucking class for you. Like.
We just
Like,
locked.
I,
Baba O'Reilly.
all my friends like into like all these pop bands. I don't give a shit about pop bands. I
Yeah.
hate pop. I just like rock.
We like everything.
Yeah.
We were like you when we were younger. We just sort of heavy metal or nothing,
Yeah.
And then we started like letting
Rock
it-
and roll and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then it was sort of like only natural music. That's all we'd listen to. So if it had
like a
any
band.
form of like
Electronic,
electronic or auto tune or anything, we're just like, fuck that shit. Don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But
And now we just love
now everything.
There's at
It's
least
good.
one song in every genre of music that I
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it's fucking. But we just locked ourselves in our. Well, we didn't lock ourselves in, but we all lived together in 2012 in a wee town out that way, and we just played Beatles songs from one.
Till
Was it-
one
was
in
it
the morning or something.
1 to 9. I think 1
was
to
it?
9 was the curfew because David slept to fucking 5 o'clock.
So we weren't allowed to play
So
music
we were like,
before
we
1.
made an ultimatum. We're like, right, 1 o'clock, we can do whatever we want. And every time we woke up and played music at 1, David was like, fuck it, didn't get any sleep, fuck it. He'd just come out, dick swinging, the fuck's going on?
But that's how we taught ourselves to play music, was just literally just learn every Beatles song ever.
hey man, I
Yeah.
joined in eventually.
That's
Yeah, he
fair.
did.
Aren't some of the Beatles songs quite hard though? There's like some of them are really like
Yep.
Technical,
weird.
yeah.
That's
but
how like we learned
Especially
the
like Helter
entire.
Skelter. That's like one
Yeah.
That was one of the we learned that. We learned every Beatles song.
We learned every
literally
Beatles song.
every single
Every
Beatles
single
song.
That
without
that could
one-
be, except
Have
like
you ever
stupid
heard
ones like
that
number
thing
9.
where they
Yeah.
recorded "Love Me Do" in different ways?
In like
Have you
different
heard that?
languages.
No, not in different languages. So they recorded it with their original drummer Pete Best.
Yeah.
It's not the Beatles. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some rock band.
Yeah.
But then they did one with Ringo,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds like "Love Me Do."
Yeah.
But then what's really weird is they got a session drummer in to do like a thing, and Ringo's on the tambourine.
Right.
All the swing and all like the style of the Beatles is all in tambourine.
Yeah.
The drums are just god awful.
And they're like, yeah,
I think I've heard that. Yeah, I consider myself a real Beatles fanatic. Like, and
Yeah,
to
same.
hear stories that I've never really heard is funny. Like, who's your favorite stand-up comedian?
Dead or alive?
Your choice.
In between.
Either way.
In between,
In purgatory.
Andrew Dice Clay, if you're going in between, like he's in between, like
Yeah, dead.
either or.
Probably Dave Allen.
Dave Allen. Oh, he's the Irish one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
What's
great.
great about Dave Allen is like he's the only comedian from like the 70s that you look back on, you go, he's not like homophobic or like racist or anything or sexist, because a lot of those comedians were back then.
Yeah.
But his jokes, he pioneered the whole.
Which we don't like.
We don't like that shit.
He was like the one that parodied the whole jokes about
Down with
like
that sort of thing. Sorry, go
Protestants
ahead.
and Catholics. That's
Yeah.
not funny. I'm just gonna make jokes about general stuff
Yeah.
in Ireland.
He was good. He had like a funeral joke or something.
Yeah,
Or like a graveyard joke. I don't know what it is.
it's a
but
good joke. I mean, I think I can remember where there's this drunk and he's walking this penguin, and this police officer comes up and he says, "How about you bring him back to the zoo where he belongs?" And the drunk one says, "Aye, sure, I'll bring him back to the zoo." And then the next day, the same policeman sees the same guy walking the penguin. He goes, "Why are you walking that penguin? I thought you told him to bring him back to the zoo." He said, "I did. He loved it, so I'm bringing him to the library today."
Oh yes, right. I get it.
I get it. But it's one of those ones you're like, that's good though.
Bring it. You know what the I think that's not ruins that joke, but the bring him back to the zoo. Just say bring him to the zoo.
That's how he says it, though. He
Yeah.
says, "Bring him back to
That's
the
funny.
zoo."
I think you should just say bring him to the zoo, because when you say bring him back to the zoo,
It means he's already been there.
he's
But
already,
that's how he does say it in the original
it's
joke.
funny
So,
that,
like, it's weird, though.
I think it would work better if you just say bring him to the zoo.
Bring him to the
I
zoo.
brought him to the zoo,
Bring
yeah,
back
yeah.
the zoo, will you?
Yeah.
Bring back the zoo.
Yeah, that's good.
You
That's
know.
great. What about alive?
I don't know. I feel like really pressured if I don't say anybody from here.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
say
okay,
that.
so
Fuck
we're
yourself.
going to give you an out there. You can't use anyone that you've met in person or know of. You know what I mean? Like, so it has to be like.
Let's just make it easy. It's not from Northern Ireland, just
Yeah.
from anywhere else.
All right, probably James Acaster.
Oh, James Acaster, yeah.
That's a strange one.
He's a
I've
quirky
never heard
guy,
anyone
like.
say that. I do actually like him. Look,
Yeah,
he's
good,
funny.
yeah. He's quirky,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
You remind me of him a bit, actually.
Yeah.
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 There you are.
Most
got-
is
you've
probably
got
just
his
ginger
kind of
hair in
look.
the suit, but you know. And then another comedian, I don't know if you probably haven't heard of him, called Gary Delaney.
Yeah, I've heard him. One-liner.
One-liner,
Yeah, he's-
like the
he's great.
most rudest, most like worst one-liners you ever heard in your life.
Class, yeah.
Like he did a whole show, I think it was like a couple of years ago, at the the one in Liverpool,
Mhm.
and he just these are all my worst jokes, and he just keeps going. I hope I offend everybody by the end of the show. And like some of the stuff he comes out with is like the most. He's the complete opposite of Dave Allen. Like it's just
Yeah.
racist, homophobic. He offends every single culture you can think of.
But would you agree he gets away with it maybe in a better way?
He gets away with it because like he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like
If a joke's funny, it's
I
funny.
kinda-
That's
yeah,
how you get away with it.
I like
Just be funny.
I like when a comedian is
Controversial.
controversial but able to somehow portray that joke in a very, very
Well, that's the only successful ones, I think. If you
if you're being racist in your joke, or if you're being homophobic in your joke, or sexist in your joke,
Then it's fucking funny.
it is really fucking
No, I'm
funny. It's
joking.
really funny.
It's
And
only funny if it's funny.
No, but it's almost
and
like
tasteful.
it's like certain comedians can get away with it. And certain
Well,
ones
here's the
can't. I
thing,
don't know
right?
why it's
They're
like,
not being racist or homophobic though, because they're
it's a
not.
joke.
Yeah, I
you
know
know,
it's a
not
joke.
real.
Yes,
You know,
yes. I
if
know.
they were being racist or homophobic, then it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the
100%.
thing is
I
also
think-
coming in from like an autistic side of it. I hate it when
Yeah.
people say the word retard and spastic in their sets. I'm not condoling that, by the way.
You don't like it when people say it?
Because like
We've let her say both of them in
there's
this
loads of
podcast,
comedians-
David.
There's loads of comedians that I've seen it like just doing comedy
Yeah.
clubs that just say retard and spastic, and you're like, I've tried it and I've done it, and like I remember I did at the Pavilion, and Luke was just like, Sam, it's just not funny. Like it's
Yeah.
hit or miss. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like you've got to make sure that works like
Yeah.
perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And it just didn't work because like
Yeah.
it's hit or miss. And I hate when people say retard or like spastic and then go in their set like, well, I said spastic, it's not fucking funny.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Well, no,
they're
because
just
it's
not
really
funny.
bad for
yeah,
the word.
because in their mind, this is why it's not fucking funny, is because then they're counting on that word to
be
make their
funny
joke
for
funny.
shock.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not integrated
Yeah.
into what they're saying. It's just like, okay, I can write a bunch of shit, say something a bit provocative, and then people laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
not
just
funny.
like, like if you say like, I go to a special needs school, a school basis in front of a bunch of spasms, basically. No one's gonna laugh
Yeah,
at that.
exactly. 'cause
You're
there's
just
no
saying,
joke
you're
there.
just setting up
saying
another
a thing.
punchline. You're not doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
100%.
kind of think that like if it is written well, comedians are almost doing such a good service to the world in the sense of racism and sexism or anything like that. There, like if anybody really does, you know.
Yeah, I've always thought
I
comedy
don't know. It's
can
really
break
important.
break barriers of things like
Yeah,
that, like racism and homophobic stuff. Like it's
Well, look at Tony Hinchcliffe's black lesbian joke. You don't get funnier than that.
yeah,
Like black lesbians go down on women and they don't just eat it out. They all hell no on it.
yeah,
Like that's fucking hilarious.
Brilliant.
But it's quite racist.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not in there.
I
Do you
think
know what I
it's going a
mean?
bit far
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's so good. It's just too good to be like, oh, that's offensive. You know?
There's one comedian that does that though that everybody seems to like and I hate is Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Like I like Dave Chappelle as a comedian, but I just feel like I'm sitting there watching his specials and I'm going, Dave, that is like extremely. That's too far. Like you've gone.
I think
far.
That's why I like
I
it.
think he does go over the top because
No, definitely.
he's not allowed.
I
So
think-
he's sort of rebelling that now.
I kind of think he's been pushed to the point where he's fed up and he's so sick of being told what not to say and that he can't do this and what he can't do that. So he likes to definitely push it as far as fucking possible, like, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
he
I
made
kind of love him for it. Like,
he made a very good point on why he's allowed to, why he feels this way about these jokes. Because when he had his Chappelle show, right,
Yeah.
he made an episode. You're probably gonna have to flag some of these words. He made an episode that said 9 times in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got called into the office of the CEOs and the executives and all, and they were all like, Dave, you can't say, you cannot say. And then he was like, all right, fine, I'll take it out. And he was going to leave, and he was like, but why can't I? And they were like, because you're not gay, Dave, you know?
Yeah.
And he sat there and he thought about it for a wee second. He was like, hang on, I've been saying with impunity on this show for 6 years.
Yeah.
And you just haven't said anything. And they were like, well, yeah. And he goes, well, I ain't either. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a
So
good-
that's
good
his
point,
point.
like-
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
why should he not be allowed to talk about something just because he's not it, yet he can talk about something they think he is?
I
Yeah.
feel
You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
Yeah,
when
it's
people
silly,
start to lock down words is when the world gets scary. It really does. It's when you can't say this, you can't say that. It's scary. It's,
Beginning to be like that.
There's
like,
there's an obvious reason you can't say some words.
well, there's
in
an
a way.
obvious reason you can't say. You can't say fucking, you know, all that shit. You know, and
It's one big flagged
you know,
part here. Like,
but you know, I still think those words should be available to comedians anyway. Like
Under
especially-
certain circumstances.
especially-
I disagree though because I feel like if you're a white comedian and you're making jokes, you should not use the N word
No,
because
but
it
you
doesn't
can.
make it.
I feel like
no,
there is
I
times where
disagree.
it's funny.
I honestly feel like there's certain ways like
in the proper context.
I
you know what I mean?
100%.
in the proper context a white person can say in the proper context.
stop saying it because I have to flag. I have to completely remove this whole part.
Just
But
say,
it was in the
just
right
say,
context. I'm just using
not.
it.
Well,
Not as
no,
an-
you're not
as-
using it in
as
the
an
right context
offensive-
at all. At all, actually. This is one of those times where you can't. It's like when you're sitting in.
Jake's black, by the way.
Yeah,
so
I'm mixed race, so that's why I have an opinion on this. And I'll
Fuck
say it
your
if you.
opinion.
I'll
Why
say
is
it
your
if you will.
opinion any better than mine?
If you will.
Fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
I don't know. Like it's a touchy subject. It's just, you know,
Wait,
funny's
how did we
funny.
get down this tangent?
I never knew.
Dunno.
I never knew we go like down the political.
We
like,
were on a rocky road here. Someone took a left turn.
I think we took that suit too
White,
seriously.
do
Like,
white people say N words?
yeah.
No.
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 No,
At the end of the day,
necessarily,
no.
But I feel like comedians should have all their ammunition ready to go.
This is getting dark.
I kind of think.
yeah, can we move on from this? Like,
The words
Sorry.
are
Okay, we'll
really-
course correct. We'll course
the words
correct.
are nasty.
Who's,
The words are nasty
no,
place.
No.
who's the comedian
Overrated.
that's inspired you the most?
Peter Kay.
Do something with that, you fuckers. The most clean comedian. Peter Kay, please. Let's move away from all that. Peter Kay's class. I love Peter Kay.
I like Peter Kay.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, it was brilliant. Fuck me.
Crying from the back.
That was a good one.
That was. Well done. Brilliant.
All right,
That's going to be one big long flagged part. Listen, right, our opinions on this podcast don't represent anybody else's. You know, it's just a bit of crack. You know,
Just a bit of crack.
and
It's all
everybody
joke,
understands
It's all
that. You know,
joke.
everybody
Yeah,
understands
That's
that.
what they say, folks, off the podcast. We see what they're like.
If I ever call
You shut your
anybody,
mouth.
This is a
If I
different
ever
kind of
call
meeting when the
anybody-
You'll
mics
never
are
see
off.
Sam again.
if I ever call anybody and
These black hats are
That part's just coming out. That part's coming out. Distasteful.
well,
Right, move on.
shut up.
Move on.
not because they are one.
What is
Let's
that?
let's go
a
on
phone
to
for ants?
let's now go on
Jesus Christ.
right to the final subject. Doctor Who.
Oh yeah,
Right, so there's a word.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sad. You don't have any Doctor Who stuff.
Not a Doctor
Martin
Who
would have been the
family.
one that watched Doctor Who.
I fucking love Doctor Who. Like,
we watched the Daleks and stuff when we were kids, but it wouldn't have been that big in
See
the
if, you
90s.
see if you say the thing I always get in
The
this comedy
Daleks.
sets. I hit behind my couch when I saw the Daleks.
Yeah.
Shut up. Anybody who's ever said that to me, fuck off. Because I get it so much. People just go for me. I love Doctor Who, but I always used to hide behind the couch when the Daleks came on. So did everybody. I don't care.
I never really found the Daleks
I didn't find
scary.
them. I
They're
don't always find them scary, but I didn't like
toasters
them.
with wheels.
Yeah.
You know, you just run up a stairs and just go.
To be honest, I didn't find anything.
Actually, no, because Daleks can
Very
hover.
little.
Oh, they
shit.
can. Fuck,
Oh,
they're
shit.
scary.
Flag this. I don't want to seem stupid.
Honestly, like, the only one I
I'll tell you
found
what I
scary
did
is the
find
angels.
scary
Like,
when I was a kid. It.
Yeah.
We're talking about Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
It's not
We're talking about Doctor Who.
Horror movies, no.
You could be a Doctor Who, you know, you like sort of dress like a Doctor
the
Who
Doctor,
sort of
yeah.
character.
Yeah. Are you
I
the?
doubt Doctor Who would wear a short missile tie though.
Hey, mate.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Night.
He's up there in terms of style. So what Doctor Who did you sort of jump onto? Like, who was
Where'd
the
you
Doctor?
start with? Yeah.
Well, when I was very young, I remember watching obviously I was born in 2005, so I can't probably remember Christopher Eccleston.
So scary.
Thanks.
Fucked up.
But I remember watching David Tennant, and I was really young.
You were born. I was already wanking like 4 years.
Why did it have to be that? Could it not just be like
Sorry.
drinking or
Sorry,
taking
sorry.
drugs or anything? It had to be wanking?
No, I wasn't drinking or taking drugs yet.
Yeah, you were.
Go ahead. Sorry, Doctor
Sorry.
Who.
but
Doctor
I
Who.
started on David Tennant, and then I think
Aye.
I remember going into Matt Smith, and then for me, Matt
And how
Smith,
did he like that? Sorry.
Flag that. Get us arrested.
Go
I
ahead.
go into Matt Smith, but for me, Matt Smith went on for years.
Yeah.
He wasn't he only did for
He
years.
didn't come for years.
Shut the fuck up with all your stupid. That's what she said.
Mine was tasteful and on time. David just went. Now let him talk.
It's like when I say to my friends, "You do you," and then they come out with a "No thanks." And I'm like, "Fuck you!"
No thanks.
And I say it so much, they're like, "You do," I'll go, "You do you," and they go, "No thanks." I'm like, "Go away, I don't care."
Right, let him talk. Let the man finish.
Yes.
So anyway, he only did 3 years, but for me it was 10 years.
Yeah,
and I remember saying to my dad, "Dad, when's Matt Smith gonna leave? He's been on here for ages. It's only been 3 years, son." I didn't know the concept of time.
But that,
Yeah,
that
because
was,
you were so young.
that was
3 years to use like an eternity of life. You know,
Yeah.
so many things have happened.
who was after Matt Smith?
Who was before David
I don't know
Tennant?
why. I never liked him.
Christopher Eccleston.
Up until recently.
Eccleston.
And who was the first Doctor Who?
William
that was in-
Hartnell?
That was in the
Right.
60s or 70s?
And that's the one that was on
60.
when we were kids, though. Like the replays of ones that were on when we were kids. No.
Wasn't
There was
it
about
70s?
Yeah, there was about 7 or 8 doctors before we were born.
Aye, but see, when we were kids, right? Because I was never really into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I always remember it being those real old style Daleks, you know.
Yeah, that
look-
was a movie. There was a movie made of the
Yeah,
Daleks.
there was a movie.
Right.
Oh my god, that movie's god awful. There's a movie, and there's 2 movies actually.
Yeah.
Actually, there's technically 3, but we're getting into really nerdy territory there. But there's one where they made in the 60s, and it was it came out. It was filmed in the 60s, but it came out in the 70s, just after Star Wars, to try and promote. Here's Doctor Who. It's quite popular. Here's, and they're like, it didn't fucking work. But they're god awful because they've got Peter Cushing in it.
Yes.
And Peter Cushing, no offense to the man, he's just not a good doctor.
No.
Because he's too all the scientific babbles just so I'm going to put this comb under a door. And he goes, it works because the metal magnet comes under the plastic. And you're like, what? Doesn't make any sense. But
Physics don't hold up here. Hang on.
And then there's a whole scene where he he explains how he's gonna throw the Dalek off like a ledge,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't work, and then he's just like, well, at least I tried, and then walks off, and you're like, what?
Fuck you, Peter.
He wasn't even trying.
It's all right, Peter. Don't take it wrong. What would be your favorite episode of all time?
Oh, Genesis of the Daleks.
Who's
Tom Baker.
Tom? Like an old one. So you'd be really into the old stuff as well.
I think the older Doctor Who's are better.
It's
because
cool that
like
you
the newer
grew up,
Doctor Who's,
yeah.
no offense, I'm not going to get cancelled by saying this, but the new Doctor Who's are too focused on sexism and racism.
Yeah.
Like they're like,
And we
"Here,
don't like that.
we don't agree with that, but I'll tell you why. Because I remember one of the episodes was like, so they were like they went back to like Martin Luther King's time, with Rosa Parks and stuff, and it was like there was a black character, and this black character got smacked up by a white man, and you're like, I understand that would have happened back then, but like they spent like a whole 10 minutes of the episode explaining, right, this is why this is racist, and this is why this doesn't happen
It's just,
anymore.
like, woke
You're like,
as fuck,
just
yeah.
fucking just get to the aliens, please. I just want to see the aliens.
They really try to baby everybody these days. Like you don't know what's going on, so that kind of stuff.
really
Let's
try
not
to,
go
like-
down that road now.
Okay, okay.
No. The cheapest place, trying to go back down to the Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, we're going back down there. Like,
Always something.
Blackface is okay.
as long as you're black.
I went
Extremely funny.
blackface once for Halloween and got kicked out of a shop.
Yeah.
Right, anyway.
So what? How? Do you like Matt Smith as an actor?
Good segue, David. Good save.
You saved it. Oh, fucking
So-
hell.
I actually recently just got into him like.
Because the House of Dragons.
Get into
House of Dragons.
Oh, that show. God,
Why?
my
Yeah,
God.
I haven't watched it.
I watched Game of Thrones and was like, oh, I love this. The first episode, they're having sex, and then they go, we're brother and sister. And I genuinely boked. I was like, bro.
Into the urinal.
Yeah, into the urinal.
just before going on stage, I was watching. There you go, solved it. Oh, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, no, they were into their incest. But then, like, I
that
suppose
show
if you
got
go
me
back
into
incest.
go back
fetish.
into history, all the pantheons of gods and all the rest of it in Greek and Norse,
there
and everything,
not,
they're
I
all
can't,
fucking
I can't
their
remember the name of the
families.
king, but there's not a king that like came up and he was like so fucked up he couldn't even like talk until like the
Yeah.
age of like 12.
Yeah, 'cause he was so incest.
It was so incest.
What was this in real life?
Yeah.
This is in
Yes.
real life. Yeah, I can't remember.
King
it was like King
James
Charles
or
the
something. I know what you're
Third or
talking
something.
about.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like this.
Yeah.
You can't really see
They
the
were
mask,
so
but-
incest. They just
looks like this.
I don't know if they had balaclavas back in his day, but
Looks like this. Like literally, I'll just take my mask off and that's what he looks like.
But yeah, no, they liked a bit of incest. Keep the bloodlines pure and all that crack.
Oh, here.
still do it to this day, I'm telling you.
That's
Yep.
it.
Oh, aye.
Prime example.
Sure do.
Let's end on a high. Right.
All of
Something to
that was quite good. I liked it all.
let's end on a high. Let's see where.
I don't think we can do that. He's already high, so
Yeah.
Ah, very good.
He's been high. So
that joke was funnier in my head. Not gonna lie. But then again, that's most of my jokes.
Yeah.
Hey man, I've
been doing it
laughed.
6 months.
I've laughed quite
Yeah.
hard at most things you've said today.
It's been a good.
It's been a great
You're a
episode.
funny man.
I know you were
Well, it's not
nervous
fucking-
coming
it's
into
not
it.
you coming up to the end. It's not coming up to the end.
Is it not?
It is, yeah.
I think it
It is. It is.
No.
It's been a great episode, and I know you were nervous at the start, and it's easy to be like, it's your first podcast.
I'm always nervous,
especially sitting here with these
and I'm
four.
Yeah,
sitting-
with
I'm
us nuts. I hope we made you feel
I'm sitting with
comfortable
a fucking veil over my face. A veil.
A veal. A bit of fucking deer skin.
Yeah.
But yes, it was brilliant having you,
Yes,
Sam.
that was good crack, man. Thank you very much.
For your first podcast, you were so natural and
Yeah.
great. So
You done really well.
all the best for your career, and I'll see you. Out
So
there.
what's this high?
And here, if you got anything to plug, if you have any gigs coming up,
I don't know. I'll have a thing called Bounce Festival, 6th of October.
Okay.
The Black Box.
you
That's about it. I mean, I'm doing a gig in Bangor at the end of the week, but I doubt this will be out by the time this is.
Well, here next Monday.
This would
When
be out
is it?
Monday.
this is Friday.
All right.
then no.
Go back in time and watch Sam, and then Bangor.
can go back in time.
Go in the TARDIS.
But yes, please check out Sam. Subscribe to his page. Have you got Instagram?
Samuel Vincent McVea.
There you go.
My
He's
full
on Instagram.
name.
And just get out there and watch comedy because he's doing all the rounds out there,
Yeah,
and there's
fucking right.
plenty more like him out there. Great comedians just killing it. So
Yep.
go on out and see them.
Please.
Shout out to our sponsors.
Bud Lightyear and Baked Potato and I get on them. They're fucking legends.
Yep.
Go.
And subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/4Brors podcast. There's more stuff coming, more stupid, silly shit like this.
We're sorry.
Hopefully,
Yeah, sorry.
hopefully not
We're
as
sorry.
bad as that one.
Don't take us
Yeah.
seriously. We don't actually mean any of the bullshit
I
we
don't-
say. It's just to try and keep ourselves sane in this crazy, crazy world that we live in.
And Steven Seagal.
Crazy.
One love, baby.
Love you, man.
Peace out.
To leave the fucking cock-sucking cheese where it is. This magic moment.